Right. Hi, everybody. Sorry we're late by about 10 minutes or so. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So, welcome everybody to September's Change and Chill. It'll be just me, Audie, and Lucas for tonight. Poor Drew has a migraine, and T has engagements where they have to be there, appointments and such. So, it'll be Audie and Lucas. Just trying to pull the stream up on my phone so I know, like, I can see if there's any glitches or anything. Sorry, guys. Oof. Okie dokie. Okay, so this month you guys voted for which charity or foundation organization we'd be donating 10% of all September's $2 Tuesday proceeds go to. And y'all voted for the International Association of Suicide Prevention. So that's what we'll be donating our $2 Tuesday to. Um, and usually we like to match that. And we were able to come up, including our matches, was $50, just which is amazing. Which still kind of boggles my mind because I always assume that we're not going to be able to meet a certain quota per se. Which isn't exactly fair to us because we just opened not too long ago. November will be 6 months. Do you realize that? 6 months we've been open in November.
Feels a lot shorter.
Well, I'm sure you're busy. You're hella busy.
Yeah.
Because we opened up in May, like the end of May. So
Oh,
June, July,
yeah.
August, September.
We
Yeah.
did.
So we've been open for 4 months. Crazy. We're still in our infancy. How long would you consider a business to be open to consider them still an infant?
What was the question?
Oh, well, I said we were only. Oh, we've only been open for like 4 months, and I was like, we're infants, and then I asked you, how long would you consider us infants? Like, I don't know. I'm not thinking of it properly.
I have no idea. um, I've never been. I've never understood the months count an infant in months thing.
Mm,
So I don't. I it all kind of conflates everything.
all right. Well, that's fair. All right. So usually, typically, in these things, we'll chat a little bit. Now, I don't think there's any rhyme or reason exactly what we chat about per se. Um, and then we play so a Metrophone, I think that's what it's called. T introduced us to it. It's pretty fun.
Uh, Gardic phone. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what we would do with just two people though.
yeah, I know. I don't know what we would do. It's just the both of us. Well, T suggested that we talk about our new um, member to the family, quote unquote, uh, Pippin. She's our new character sticker.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're frozen. Okay, there we go. We were frozen there for a second.
What am I trying to bring up? Oh, okay. Um, um, I don't, I don't think we've introduced anything new. correct?
Yeah. Ins- inspiration for Pippin came from a number of things. I knew that we wanted to make sure we included people of a global minority in our character stickers. And it just felt natural for us to start off with a Native American uh, character sticker, which is Opal. My brother worries how much of that's able to translate onto the character stickers, and we tell him to be fair, they're like really, really small. It wouldn't be until we like blow her up and you get to see the details of her. Um, like one thing specifically that you don't get to see on our character stickers like Opal and Pippin are the finer details, which I just said and I'm just saying in a different way. Like for instance, Opal, she's wearing moccasins, but you wouldn't be able to tell that in her character sticker because don't you have, what did you call it? You have the chibi version, which is the one that we use, or chibi-esque version we use for our character stickers. But what's the other version that you say?
I don't know that I gave it a name specifically.
Mm.
Um, I think I called it full version.
Yeah, which we're hoping to later down the road be able to make more detailed versions, so bigger than just like what an inch or less than an inch.
Yeah, the character stickers are drawn at a scale of about a half inch, so uh, they're very simplified in an attempt to make them easier to read at that size. So I'm drawing them. I'm drawing them pretty big on my screen because they're drawn at like 600 pixels per inch. Bit oversized, but
Yeah,
um, it helps in print to have more information.
correct. And with Pippin, we wanted her to have natural hair. It's important for us to her for her to have natural hair, and um, try to get those facial features. Uh, we're kind of. I remember watching Lucas draw them and him wanting them to read as a black woman, or instead of just like a random person like a white woman or a native woman or anything like that. So it was very important to him that they came off because bone structure and everything. Um, but I think he did pretty good considering these are chibi character stickers and not the full one. The full one that we got to see. I don't know. Did we get to see the full one of Pippin? I don't remember if we were
No, the
there when
full
he.
one's not done
Okay.
still.
Right.
Been busy with all the other art.
Exactly. Um, so it's just very important that it came across and not just like. And I don't know how familiar you are with these terms, Lucas, but in the planner community, we have these things called fashion girls. And usually, typically, at least, I mean, they're getting a better about it now. It's still not as inclusive as we all wish we could be, but like there's some artists that really do try to get out of their comfort zones and make that happen. But usually, fashion girls are just like they change their skin tone, not their facial features or their hairstyles or anything like that. Um, so it kind of like just like a one size fits all kind of thing, and it's really disheartening being a person of a global majority. I would like to see myself, and um, and you can clearly tell in some of these fashion girls that they were meant to be drawn as a white woman, except for you're just like slapping on a different color, which is, like I said, disheartening. So it was very important for us that when you looked at Opal, oh, well, at least her full size version, her JB version, I don't know how much you notice, but her full size version, you can tell she is native, she is indigenous, and it was important for us to do the same thing with Pippin. We do have other character stickers other characters that will be coming out later on. But I mean, as all things with the kits and everything, we do our own artwork. It is not, no hate to anybody who does, but like we don't use any clip art or anything like that. It's all drawn. If it's majority of from our brother Lucas, or some things I do. So, oh my gosh, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh,
It
yes.
takes a while to do art.
Yes, it takes a while to do art. So the character stickers will all be coming, they come in slowly. And like we were struggling with Pippin as far as what to start out with when we were going to introduce her. And I think the best case scenario for us was just to do what we can right now, like the pumpkin and the leaves where we were for Opal. So we're gonna start that. Not to say that we aren't gonna bring Pippin versions to the shop at a later time, probably during our winter Christmas break, um, because we probably won't be having any new releases. I mean, we would hope to have new releases in January, but I mean, we're trying to want to get a good what's that called? A good cushion before we start new releases in our shop again. So, and one of those things would be to draw Pippin and any other character in past versions of like Opal filing stuff for work, or was Opal cooking. So we'd like to draw a version of that for Pippin. But like all of it's in due time. My brother essentially has two full-time jobs and a part-time job, depending on how you look at it. He has work with us. He has his actual job that he goes to. That's his main source of income, and then he helps our parents with our grandparents. We don't all live in a central location. I'm in upstate New York. He's in the middle of the country, and our younger siblings out in Japan. And Drew, she's in a little further south from me. So we're all doing this over the internet. Um, so we do it best as we can with what we got to work with, and like it kind of started showing up. Was it this month particularly with our new releases? We didn't get to do them as we wanted to, not because there was a lack of effort, but all of us. Excuse me, I feel like I'm gonna burp. If I do, I'm so sorry. We're going through a lot of personal stuff within our lives. And the last month has just been really, really nuts. You know, uh, we have our own stuff, and then in our immediate family, we had a loss. Our uncle passed away in the beginning of the month. What it was August, right? Late August. The Uncle Herb passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very sudden. Um, yeah.
And then with that just came like it was just like um
A
a,
confluence of external forces deciding now was the perfect time to hit us with stuff.
yeah, everything they got, it just became one big rolling snowball. And it just so we're trying to catch up with all that. Like we were supposed to have new releases like a week or so ago, and we're trying to give ourselves some grace because like I said, our we do all our own artwork, mainly being our brother Lucas right here. So he's pumping out all this artwork for kids, and like we don't purchase it or anything, so it's a lot harder to produce new releases. And it just got to a head with everything that's been happening. It just came to a head, and we were all burnt out. That's why I haven't posted a plan with me in a hot minute. Drew's, you know, we love the fact that they got in with a company and they're doing great and their acting career is looking up. Um, and so with that came a whole slew of different responsibilities. So their schedule has been super hectic and busy as well. T and their stuff. And then essentially because essentially doing a lot on their own in a country during a global pandemic is just insane. And I'm very impressed with what they are able to do because they don't have any immediate family out there. It's basically just them and our nephew. So, because our brother-in-law, you know, it serves is serving in the military right now. So it's just been really hectic for all of us. Um, Not to say that's an excuse for any means, but we're fortunate enough that something like this has happened in our infancy of our shop. Like, and not in a situation where we're too terribly big that it becomes a really big issue, but still, it's not the way that we planned or wanted it. But I know we all sat down and figured it out. Um, we had to adjust our new release schedule to accommodate all our hectic lifestyles. So instead of two releases in a month, we're having one starting in October. And then that's how it's going to be until the end of the year, until December. And then we're going to go on winter, uh, Christmas break, holiday break. And it may or may not come out with new releases in January. It just depends on how it's going on Lucas's end and my end, and see what we can do and come up with. The goal is to have new releases in January, but it just depends on how everything works out. And we're still trying to finalize or get together a production calendar for next year. It's so crazy that we're already thinking of next year. I remember this whole process in the beginning of us even trying to open. Like, it's so weird to me that, what, little over a year last year we've decided to finally just bite the bullet and open a shop and go in business together. Do you remember that? Like, I remember that, and I don't, like, I knew it was real and I knew it's something that I wanted to do, but I didn't know how it was going to look.
I remember being very confused because there was a language barrier between you and I when we started, and he was critical and um, trying to be able to communicate between the two of us because T knew enough about uh, sticker planning and stuff to be able to translate what you were saying, because there's some terms in both planning and design that mean completely different things. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'll say one of them is a kiss cut.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I? Oh, okay. So I use crop lines, and if you've seen some of my artwork or my art streams, you'll see that I have color-coded lines on my canvas, and they correspond to different things. And so it was a huge barrier to try to uh, get that information from you about how big things need to be sized and everything. And so I remember when the first kit was done, um, the bottom washi wasn't the right size, and it was like too big.
Mm-hmm.
And the measurements you gave me were correct, but something happened somewhere, and the template became skewed somehow. And so it was a hard time trying to get you or to communicate to you that there was an issue with the size, because I knew it didn't really matter on the first kit. It was the next one that there was an actual relationship between excuse me, between one side and the other, and how it worked with the binding in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
the of a week.
Yeah.
And you didn't see anything wrong with it because it looked fine to you. But I had spent 30 hours with that kit, and I knew what it needed to look like and how it was intended to look like when everything was put together, said and done. And not being able to tell you what was wrong, not being able to show you what was wrong, was really, really rough. And T was absolutely critical in being able to bridge that gap between you and I.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? T is our mediator. T is like our translator between the both of us. T's really good
Yeah.
at communicating and talking to Lucas in the way that he understands, and vice versa with me and them. So it's just funny because when we are not understanding what each other's trying to say, T understands exactly what we're trying to say, and T translates for us, which is hilarious because T's the youngest out of all three of us.
Yeah. There was like a 45-minute conversation about figuring out the overprint that would need to be done so that when uh, the stickers were cut out, it was a edge to edge print.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I was using terminology that didn't mean anything to you, but meant
Mm-hmm.
everything to me,
Right,
it was
yeah.
hard. It was hard for me to say like, oh, it's the bleed. It's the bleed. I need to know what the bleed is. You have the bleed set too, and I don't know what you're talking about. My program doesn't call it bleed. He's like, what do you mean your program doesn't call it bleed? Everything calls it bleed.
Yeah, no, actually, looking further into it, there is like a print bleed situation on there. I just didn't see it, and I didn't know that it existed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, we're still learning. We're still learning how to communicate to each other. And like, this is like, now, if I think we were in person, it'd be a lot easier to communicate with each other because, I don't know, I just feel like that's the case in all things. Um, but
There's body
like,
language. There's gesturing. There's the ability to like instantly pull something up on your phone and just
yeah,
show it to somebody.
yeah, yeah. The
Whereas trying to communicate over the internet, it's like, oh, hey, did you get that picture I sent you? Yes. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, it's this little section over here, right there. You see this little part over here, and then like right next to that, it's like, what?
Yeah, I think this whole process has definitely helped me in general with my communication skills. They're still not up to snuff, but they're a lot better than they were when we first started. Because I'm so used to like, because the way me and T talk is a lot different than me and you talk, and I'm sure the same thing with you and T. So I'd be like, you know what I mean, and T knows exactly what I mean, and I could say, you know what I mean to you, and you'd be like, I don't know what you mean, bro. Like you didn't say anything. All you asked me is what I mean. I need more context than that, and I'm not used. I'm not used to that because like Ryan and T. I don't know. You may or may not agree, but to me, they're similar people. They're basically just the same, and so like. I can say something that doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but to T and Ryan, they know exactly what I say and what I mean. So like it's helped me a lot more with communicating in general with people because my social group is so small. Not just because of the pandemic, which that also is definitely plays into it right now, but just in general, my inner circle has always been extremely small. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a learning curve for sure. But I just think about the earlier days, like before we even opened, like I know is there definitely a point where like I knew for sure it was gonna happen, but there's definitely a point in the very beginning before we opened where like it didn't feel real, and it didn't. I don't think it felt real until opening day or the night before opening day for me.
Yeah, I am someone who would normally wait until I had all my ducks in a row, figured out how I was going to do something before I even started.
Mm-hmm.
But that often leaves me in a place where I'm just spinning my wheels, waiting to get to that theoretical, possibly unobtainable state of having my shit together.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I knew that if I was going to be working on this, I would have to be under the wire. I'd have to be on fire,
Hmm.
have pressure
Yeah.
to even do anything. And now we're so far into it, I have a better sense of what my speed is. There, I still have like a personal artist need to explore.
Yeah.
Um, so that's causing some delays in certain places, and then also I need to get better at note taking because this last latest kit I'm working on, I've hit a number of roadblocks
Yeah.
where we've already solved the problem, and just because I didn't write down any notes
Yeah.
or record our meetings, I had forgotten everything.
Dude,
With everything else that's going on and at work, it's just
it gets muddled together.
yeah.
Gets lost in the sauce. No, it's. I should take you up on that too. I should actually start putting notes for when we play D&D because I forget, and then you're like, "So what happened last?" I'm just like, a boat. A boat happened." And you're just like,
Yeah.
ah. So maybe we should just start taking notes in general so you remember certain things. Like you take notes at the meetings, I take notes on our D&D
Actually,
sessions.
it's the exact opposite for us in terms of note taking. For D&D, I mean, since I run games, I kind of have to
Yeah.
know what's going on. But I didn't actually start writing my session notes until I didn't know it until I was going back to it until session 11.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
The last time
surprised.
last time we played was session 11, and that's when I went back and started writing notes. I would as so it was before then that I actually started writing anything. I just write brief little synopses about things that vaguely happened. So like for session 3, which was actually session 4, I said they met the crew of the ship and there was a vague threat of something happening, and that's all it was for a couple weeks.
I depend heavily on Ryan to take notes. And when he doesn't take notes, I'm just like, it's your fault. We don't know anything. And he just looks at me like I'm crazy. And he's not wrong. I'm out there. But I mean, we're married, so he should take the notes. But he argues that I should take the notes because I have better handwriting. And like, what does it matter? Because you're the one reading the
I
notes.
argue that everyone should be taking notes because your
Mm,
character is going to have a different perspective from somebody else, or at least they should. I know when I was a player in games, I would always write notes from my perspective, from my character's perspective. So anything that I wouldn't know, I wouldn't write down.
oh, Ryan is not very enthused by my take on note taking for D&D sessions.
Hmm.
I think he's Team Lucas right now, but he knows not what he speaks.
Okay.
But yes, in our free time on Saturdays, if we can, we have D&D sessions with. It's me, my husband Ryan. Lucas is the DM. If those who don't know, a dungeon master, and then our friends Leon and April. It's a really fun bunch. Sometimes, well, one time, uh, what was his name? Joined us one session. That was interesting. I didn't know that was going to happen. Not to say that wasn't a pleasant surprise. I had no idea what was going to happen. So, and you know me, I was on the defense because I come off really strong. And if like, and I think I sounded really bitchy, and I felt kind of bad. But like, I was like, who's this? And Ryan's like, I don't know. I was like, who is it? So yeah. But like as time went on, I realized who it was, and I was like, oh okay. It's I don't know this person, but like it's cool. It's cool. It's whatever. It's whatever. But I don't know. Did I sound bitchy? Did I sound like standoffish?
I'm gonna say that when it comes to talking to new people that you weren't prepared for, you always do.
Mm-hmm.
There's this the air of apprehension as you gauge the other person.
Yeah. But
It's like this is my ring. This is my space. Do not enter it until I determine that you're cool.
yeah, yeah. Ryan was saying like, oh, I'm like, can you chill? Like you're being a little bitchy. I'm like, I am. I'm like, I'm not being bitchy, am I? And he's just like, kind of being a little bit of a bitch. I was like, oh, okay, sorry. But no, I love the little group we have right now on Saturdays. We couldn't last Saturday because I was just like really feeling like I don't know. Maybe you guys have this feeling somewhere in that sometimes. Like I was just really irritable that day. Like I was on edge, and I didn't want to like have everybody else feel that. Like I don't. Just because I'm feeling a certain type of way, I don't feel like other people should be subjected to that. And I felt like even though as much as I did want to play, I thought it was also really selfish too because I would it would definitely not be a vibe. I'd be way too like I don't know. I don't think I would have been good company to be around at the moment. So I just kind of like stayed to myself for the rest of the night and just like I was on this like little emotional roller coaster thing. I think like everything just came to a head. Like everything that's happened the last month just came to a head and just so I don't know if you guys are the same way. So if you're going through something and then like something stupid, something little insignificant, especially compared to the things that you were going through, just like the straw that broke the camel's back situation. And I don't know if we're meeting it this Saturday because it just depends because we all have different schedules. This is something we do online as well over Roll 20.
Oh, welcome to chat.
Oh, hi! Oh, it's my bestie, y'all. Mindy joined the chat. Minderton, love her. Um, but yeah, no. This is D&D is something also that we do online as well. It's actually a lot of fun. So we do it on Roll 20, and I don't know if any of y'all know what Roll 20 is, but it's kind of like I don't know, Lucas, you're probably
It's
better
a
than
virtual tabletop.
yeah.
Oh, you were just completely okay.
Sorry, I wanted to take a swig. My mouth was getting dry. Though drinking soda pop isn't the best way. So, I got back on my kick of Dr. Pepper cream soda pop. So, like, I'm trying to get off that kick, but it's still with chips.
So Roll20 is a virtual tabletop where people can play online. You can bring in your own assets. So when I had time and wasn't working on Fabled Court, I would draw my own maps
Yeah,
and import them into there, and we play off them. I do
gorgeous.
still create tokens, but I don't. The tokens aren't really all that special. It's literally just a ring with a piece of artwork that I pulled from the internet, chopped up and put in there. Just so you can tell the difference. Because once upon a time, I used to have my own created tokens. It literally was just medium creature with like a wolf on it, and it
Oh, excuse
worked,
me, I burped.
but I felt was not very immersive or illustrative. Anyway, um, so the ambition was to do all my own tokens, and if we get to a place where I have some more free time again, I think that's something I might explore doing on my own as my own kind of venture deal. Is creating maps, map assets, and tokens for virtual tabletops,
Ooh.
specifically flat tokens, because I like the appeal of it drawn tokens
Hmm.
as opposed to like three-dimensional anything.
Yeah.
Because all that has so much detail, it's hard for you to be able to inject your own thing into it. And excuse me. So your players, I feel, will have specific notions about what a given thing is, whereas a drawn map with implied details, you can kind of fudge and change. Excuse me. So these last couple of weeks we've been playing in a dungeon. I don't do a lot of dungeon stuff
Yeah.
in my games. As it turns out, I'm still relatively new to DMing. I've been doing it for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. Um,
Oh, really? I could have sworn you've been doing it much longer than that.
No.
Oh my gosh, that's mind blowing to me because, like, me and Ryan say all the time that you're the best DM we've ever had, which is insane. Okay, well, the cat's out of the bag.
No. I don't know how true this is, but I feel like me as a DM is I'm more collaborative. I like to tell a story with the players. I want you to try to inject as much of yourself and your own experiences, or the I want you to steer the story as much as possible.
Yeah.
And there are some kind of let's call them rubber band borders that you'll hit. I'll let you go so far out beyond them before that tension starts to bring you back in. But
Yeah.
um, I want I want to encourage my players to create solutions. So I'm not crazy about sticking hardcore to rules because the rules are there to try to gamify certain elements. And sometimes what feels right isn't always supported by the rules. So, as I was starting to say, I don't know how much of this actually applies to uh, other people because I haven't played a whole lot of games with other DMs. I have a couple DMs I've played with, and then there was one at a convention one year, a handful of years ago.
Was it the Tsunami Con?
I don't remember.
Because I know, I think, I remember Sean and Aaron were there with us, and I
Oh,
know
yes.
Pathfinders.
Yeah.
That was actually really fun. He was really cool too.
It was some kind of anime system, or the guy that running the game put an anime skin on it. Either way, um, that was fun. Even though I felt like I didn't come out of my shell like I felt like I could have.
Hmm.
I feel like I've improved a lot on that, but I still have this weird moment where I don't know my character. And it's not until I get
Yeah.
into a number of situations where I feel like I get to know that person. Um, if we can bring it back to Pippin real quick,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's the reason why um, Pippin is going to take a while is because I still don't know who she is. I don't know how she's going to do the same things Pip or Opal has already done. I don't know how she would
Yeah.
approach those things. Also, I just did a character sticker last night. I'm a little disappointed with it. Mostly because if
Oh.
I had more time to do it, I probably would have taken a different approach to it, especially because it was Pippin. And I think that is going to be reflected in stuff as I go back into the catalog of what Opal has done and has been available as, um, and try to apply that there. So when I play a new character, I still don't. I have idea. I know what their backstory is. I know what kind of character I want them to be. I just don't know how they react to a given situation versus how I would react because I want to try to play the character as that character, not as me.
No,
So,
I
like,
totally get
I
it.
have a very specific moral standard. I have a very specific reaction to these things, and so unfortunately in the beginning of games, the first few sessions or whatever, I tend to be very quiet as I explore this character and how they would feel given their backstory. Um, I forget where I was going with that because right now, as the conversation goes, there's this one path, and then we broke off on a tangent, and
Yeah.
then on that tangent broke off on another one, and then broke off onto this one over here, and then jumped back over to one was over here, and so I don't know remember where I was in that. Um, so
Uh,
when it comes, I feel like there's a perceived notion of what a GM is to their players, and that it's adversarial. That the GM's always trying to kill their players, always trying to put them through adversity. And yes, that's true to an extent. I definitely want you to have a challenge, I want to challenge you. I want to put you in situations where you have to come up with a solution. And there's no one solid solution to anything that I put you guys through. It's I have a through way that is intended and planned, but I make sure that there's enough holes in the seal that if you push hard enough in one direction, you can find success somewhere else. And I think that was. I don't think that there's any better example of that than when you were trapped in the sewer and trying to get out of a gate. Uh,
Oh.
I I had it set up in my notes. Hey, if they approach it this way, it's going to be this DC, this difficulty of a check. If they
Oh
approach it this
no.
way, it'll be higher, but maybe they get it. I don't know. But instead of doing any of that, you decided to just throw everything at it. And then, because of the way you were going about it and all the things that were involved, it was making a lot of noise and drawing a lot of attention. And then the situation just got so much bigger than it probably should have ever been, and bigger than I had ever planned it to be.
Oh my gosh, that's so
But
embarrassing.
but it created a great moment as you got out of the sewer and running across this field, and all these arrows were flying at you, and then Ryan like jumped in and intercepted a bunch of them, and then eventually got to a cliff and then careened off into a waterfall. It was great, and
Yeah.
it was like this emotional high as you got away from this thing. Holding on to like this minuscule amount of HP that you had left between the two of you.
I mean, I was not graceful in that situation. If I remember right, Ryan threw catapulted me to the other side, but my face hit the stone wall, and I kind of like slowly fell down to the ground. Like
Yeah,
ser-
so
ser-
you
ser-
failed. I explained the situation to you. You said you were going to go ahead and proceed. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a high difficulty check, but you are welcome to see what the dice is going to tell you did. And it wasn't even that high of a DC, and you failed spectacularly. But instead of just saying, "Oh, you hit the side of the fence, you fall to the ground, you made a bunch of noise. Now here's the guard. Here come the guards." I gave you a moment to make another save, to make a saving throw, to try to grab onto the ledge, and then you failed
yeah.
that one too, and then you fell to the ground. Then you made a bunch of noise. Now here comes the guards.
Oh no.
And I
Yes.
remember the conversation after the fact. You felt slighted because you thought um, that I didn't want you to succeed because you rolled poorly twice in a row. And it's like I can't do anything about that. I gave you an opportunity. I explained the situation. I said, "Hey, this is going to be hard because of these situation, because of the circumstances here." I was like, "Here's this tall gate. You have this small opportunity to succeed. You can you can grab it, but it's not going to be easy." And so you rolled the dice.
Yeah.
Um, you must not have used your loaded dice because you failed.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can we talk about that? Okay. One, I don't. I remember specifically there was a time where we were playing with Ryan's best friend Wes, and he was claiming that I had loaded dice. I proved him wrong. But anyways, it's besides the point. April, this past game or the previous game? But she always she's usually creating it all the time, right? She always gets like a perfect like
Okay.
roll, like a solid roll.
Both you and April have incredible luck when it comes to die rolls. You have your lucky set, and
Yeah.
then she just prefers physical dice, and that's
Yeah.
fine. I don't have a problem with you. I know both of you well enough to get that you're not going to fudge your numbers, or in
Oh
the
yeah.
very least, if you do, it's not really going to hurt anything either.
Oh no, Ryan calls me out of my shit. So like if I ever did that, Ryan would be the first one to be like, "She's cheating." And he even said he's loaded dice twins, you little butthole.
So
Anyways.
so when we went to virtual tabletop, it offers the ability to make rolls directly from D&D Beyond,
Mhm.
and through a plugin that you have to find. So Autumn embraced the digital dice and has been suffering for it. April said that she was going to use the physical dice, and last game she got like 3 criticals in a row.
Yeah. No, okay, see what happened was I decided to change my character's name. Instead of going with my traditional Yavi, I went for a different name. I called my character Alet.
That's what you say. But
Nope.
whenever you did digital dice in the other campaign with the correct name, there was a variation.
I swear. It's because I changed my name to Alet, and then ever since then, I've been getting shit rolls. Except for this last game, I got really good rolls, which is funny because April wasn't doing so hot. So she's like, what is this? We can't both be like really good at rolls. But one of us is gonna have to suck. So,
It's it's okay because if you keep on getting too high rolls, I'm gonna have to juice everything up.
oh well, we can't have that.
And
Oh,
then next thing you know, because the rest of your party isn't as good as rolling and getting high numbers, they're gonna be dead on the ground and they're the healers.
the only time Ryan's really good at
Whoops.
rolling is when his life depends on it. Like, what was it? That side story you had to see where your children. his
Oh
little
yeah.
ki- his little kid character was so gonna get messed up by that creature. It was just. I think it was a really humbling moment for Ryan, indeed. Really humbling, and I enjoyed every moment of it because like my smart ass kid's ass was just like, nope, we're not having any of that. We're gonna go get help because all of us is children. We don't know what we're doing. And of course, Leo and Ryan were like, let's go figure this out. Let's go take charge. I'm like, dude, you guys are kids. You guys don't have any of the weapons and powers or anything like that as children. You guys are children. And I don't know if it was Ryan or Leo who was saying, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm a kid. I don't have all this stuff.
I think that's something Leo would say.
Only need those
Um
roles where it counts. Whatever. Boys be boys. Whatever. Ryan's a handful. Don't take anything that he has to say seriously ever. He's a child. I kid, I kid. He's a
um
good guy. But yeah. So, all that being said, when it comes to creating for the shop, we like to always there be like some sort of story. Especially my brother, who is the artist. He always likes there to be a story. When you look at it, you see something other than just the picture that you see. So that's another reason why kit art and character stickers take such a long time because my brother doesn't know how to separate himself from that, which is perfectly fine. And I think that's what makes his artwork stand out the way that it does. Is there's always so much thought and intent in it. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen real quick. Okie dokie, artichoke. Here we go. Gonna make our live donation. Alright, so donate. I remember the first time I did this that I was going to see, I thought you guys were going to see my PayPal and stuff. Oh, you can't see it. Oh. Alright, hold on. I'm going to share a different page. Hold on a second. I didn't know it would pop out. Oh, okay, now it's on the right page. Alrighty. Donate using Stripe. What? I don't know. Which one should I use? This is different. Okay. Well, can you see the page?
no, I think you're hitting a pop-up and it's blocking the whole screen.
Oh. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so with what we were able to make off the $2 Tuesdays, and then our matching, we're going to be donating $50 to the International Association for Suicide Prevention. Okay. Oh, you guys can't see it again, can you? Sorry if you guys can't see it. I don't, like, there's a lot of pop-ups going on right now. Ooh, so quiet. All right. There we go. Yay, a donation. I was curious as to why it wasn't showing. Oh no, I have to figure that out. I'm still learning this whole uh, OBS system. I don't always get it
I don't.
right.
I don't think it was OBS. I think it was Discord protecting your information.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so we made our donation for this month. Thank you guys for participating. Um, I still have to talk to the rest of the crew about what we're looking into to donate to next charity donation organization for the month of October. Um, so once we figure that out, tomorrow we'll have a poll for you guys to vote on which organization or charity that will be donating 10% of $2 Tuesdays proceeds to for the month of October. Um, and if it weren't for you guys, this wouldn't be a thing. And it's very important for us to, and we were raised to always give back what we can. And anytime my parents helped out other people, when they said that, oh, I'll pay you back, it was always them telling them, no, don't worry about it, just pay it forward. So we're all about paying it forward, even though we're small right now, and none of us make buku bucks by any means. But it's still very important to us to give back whatever we're able to, and whatever, in any way possible we can. We're very big believers on paying it forward. Anything you want to say, Lucas, before we hop off?
Just thank you for your contributions, and for liking our stuff, and for joining us in this journey. I appreciate y'all very, very much.
Yes, thank you. Until then, I will see you guys, if not in my Play With Me's, Coffee Mondays on TikTok. But is there any changes to Vernissage of the Court for you, Lucas? Are we still sticking to Tuesdays?
So I totally forgot that this was the last week of September. I think that I'm going to be, specifically because we have Change and Chill on this Tuesday of the last week of the month.
Mm-hmm.
That this week's Vernissage of the Court is going to be this Friday. Probably usual time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope. Within a few minutes. Within a few minutes of.
Oh no. You got all
I forget what
distorted.
the. I got distorted.
Yeah, you got distorted. At least your hues of blue.
Oh. Okay. Well, within a few minutes of error or delay, I'll be on 9 p.m. Eastern this Friday for Vernissage of the Court.
Okay. And is that this week of this Friday or next Friday?
this Friday
Okay. All right.
in a few days.
Okay. Yeah. So that's subject to change. The coming weeks of October just depends on how Lucas's schedule looks like. Because, like we stated multiple times before, but just for those that haven't watched or are just introduced to our shop or our channel, he has a full-time job outside of this, and he's also helping our parents take care of our grandparents. So things are going to be, especially as the holidays come, they're going to be kind of hectic. So just know that the vernissage of the court may fluctuate between either Tuesday or Fridays, just depending on his schedule. And we'll let you know. You can find that stuff on our Instagram and our Facebook. I need to work some more on our Facebook because it's not it's not up to par by any means. I love you too, Mindy. So yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm all scatterbrained. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us again. We'll see you. Lucas will see you this Friday. Have a great one. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.